Welcome to As the Story Grows. I'm Brian Patton. Today we welcome back Tuck O'Leary to the podcast. Road Minivan's new album, May This Keep You Safe From Harm, is out today on Tooth and Nail Records. Tuck and I dive into the emotionally charged themes on this album, and that's really where we stay for most of the podcast. May This Keep You Safe From Harm is easily one of my favorite records of 2023, and I'm grateful for Tuck's vulnerability talking about this album. I hope everyone goes and sits down with this record. It's phenomenal, and you won't regret listening to it. So enjoy today's chat with Tuck O'Leary from Road Minivan. You were in between tour legs last time.
I'm always in between tour legs, man. You know, it's just a constant, Fit is always on the road. We'll see if Off-Road ever plays any shows. I was just talking to Evan, our drummer, pianist, super wizard, about it, where I was like, I think I want to play one show this year and very clearly advertise it as like, this is it. This is the only time. If you want to see us, here you go. But hopefully in the new year, I'll be able to do it like a little bit more.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah. It's funny. I was a big fan of Swan Dive. I love that record. I was one of those One of those people on like the old school Tooth and Nail Facebook page being like, because people would be like, new Tooth and Nail bands suck. And I was like, no, listen to Swan Dive.
That's a very interesting topic. I love Valley Heart. I love Tiger Wine. I love Idle Threat. I think there's like some really cool bands on the label. But yeah, the thing that's interesting about label atmosphere in general these days is not like when we grew up. I don't know how old you are. I'm going to talk about myself.
Sure.
When I was growing up, Equal Vision, Solid State, Tooth and Nail, Trust Kill, Vagrant, Drive Through, Epitaph, all these labels, they had very like cool, interesting, like almost like a trust where it was like, if I go pick up something from this label, like I guarantee this band slaps. And I think that a lot of labels are like trying to find that footing again, where it's like, well, what is the flavor? Because the flavor changes so much that it's hard to stick to like a brand where it's like, if you buy a piece of Supreme, like you pretty much like know what you're getting. Right. But labels, they get, there's too much fucking internet bullshit chit chat. That's what it is, man. It's like you hear, well, now you have people actively telling you like, no, this band sucks or whatever. Right. And generally person at a label should be like, well, fuck you.
Right.
I like it. And, and then you stick to it and then it grows and the flower blossoms and it turns into the thing you want. But I could go on all day about that. So we're not going to do that.
Well, the other thing too is like growing up, you drove to a store and spent your money and you bought something and you probably spent more time with it than just like 2 tracks in. You're like, ah, fuck it. Right. Like,
a lot of it was the same in a way too, though, where like, you see, and this is how I try to approach the off-road records for sure. I mean, Fit tries to approach it the same way too, but I remember this one time it was my uncle's birthday and he had a birthday at an Elks Lodge. And this guy walked in. He was like the son of one of my uncle's friends or whatever. And he was wearing this Armor for Sleep shirt. And I didn't know what Armor for Sleep was yet. Yeah. And he looked so cool, like sick hair, fucking sick pants, studded belt. Fucking black shirt with the white shirt underneath it, poking out a little bit. Yeah. And I was just like, what is an Armor for Sleep? That looks so cool. And then I like ended up falling in love with it. And I think like trying to, treat the presentation in that way is fun, but it's not the same anymore where now you have to have like, flashy 10-second virality clip that hopefully eclipses the sun and gets people to be like, just pretend.
Yeah.
And then maybe, but even for like a band like that, it took like a while and,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of trial and error, and you never really know. So
Yeah.
interesting time period.
Yeah. Yeah. But I started down this rabbit hole is when I clicked on the press link for the new album. I had no fucking clue you were an off-road minivan.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. Like, look at that. Like,
Yeah.
awesome.
It's really nice in a way to have it like that, where I think people definitely, after being with Fit for, you know, we've been on the road together for 9 years now. It's just, you know, it's kind of a long time. You get used to like someone and what they are, what they sound like, what they do, especially because I'm such a spinny idiot. And off-road is very different in the sense of it's not our job. It's not our livelihood. It's theirs. Like, I could risk it all on it because none of it matters, right? In a sense. But because of that liberty, it matters a lot. And I get to take as long as I want. And we wrote for almost 3 years until I was like, okay, like, we can go make this now. Like, we have the songs. Yeah. And, it's such a fun labor of love, man. It's my boys. They're different guys from home, and you know, it's like getting to do both worlds. You know, I love having that, and it's a good little outlet.
Yeah. What led you to starting off road?
Oh man. Well, a combo of things. I mean, timing, where, you know, I had like Evan, the drummer, piano player. He's my best friend. Like, we would jam, hang out, we'd talk all the time. We're just attached at the hip. And it all kind of just started on a whim where like we got together and jammed with our friend Melvin, who is no longer in the band anymore because he just had a beautiful baby and has like works a lot and he's busy. But we just got together one day, and in that one day, we wrote Spiral Gaze. Oh, nice. And so that's what kind of like started the band and just like got it moving. But I needed the outlet at the time. I was learning how to like transition my role in Fit for a King as Ryan began to sing more, and I am an egomaniac, and it was hard, and I took it really hard, and this allowed me to still like get out my feelings and thoughts and ideas and not have as much pressure on like trying to put it through that outlet, because it was Ryan is the lead singer, and it's a lot of it's supposed to be coming from his voice in the way that a lot of this is coming from my voice. And after Slave to Nothing, we weren't really sure if people liked me or not. And it was hard. And through that hurt, it's where a lot of this stuff came from, because reading a lot of stuff about yourself when you've never really been on the internet before fucking sucks.
Yeah,
like,
people can be brutal. Yeah,
they were really mean. So it hurt, and a lot changed after that, because we let that criticism in. So off-road became my outlet and my way of like, okay, like, you guys see spinny aggro, like, you know, smashing shit, jumping on people guy, but like, in my soul, like, I look like this, but this is what I feel like. And you see that in moments in Fit for a King, like when everything means nothing is very much that. But it's hard to do when you're like doing breakdowns and trying to get everybody to beat the shit out of each other. Like, so I have always written from the perspective of acoustic more so, and like just write sad songs, and it's been a real joy to like get to do it and play it out. Like, Miles, the guitar player, is in my first band ever when we were like 15 years old. Nice. You know, like, and Mike and I, you know, the bass player who replaced David, because David, our bass player during the pandemic and everything, pandemic changed everything. Yeah. He had a baby as well, and like had been working on stuff. So like he also didn't move on to this record. And he was also in our first band ever with Miles and stuff. But so the new bass player is this guy, Mike Planko. He is from New Jersey, and we met on a cruise when we were like 13. And we've been friends ever since. Like, we went through emails, MySpace, Facebook, like everything to like stay in touch over the years. And he's one of my best friends. So, and he's an amazing bass player. Yeah. So getting to like bring him in like made me really happy too. And he also plays an amazing band called Gin War from New Jersey. So it was a cool, like, refreshing, different start, like, doing this record, because we took so much time in between. Yeah.
It's just a project that's born out of.
Did they give you the album? Have you listened to it?
Oh, yeah, a lot. Yeah, it's so fucking great. I got questions.
Okay, cool. No, I'm glad to hear. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that you, that you listened to it.
Yeah. I think it's way better than Swan Dive. So.
I agree. I think it fucking smokes Swan Dive.
Yeah.
I think if Swan Dive was like, at the time, I was like, oh, Swan Dive's best record that you haven't fucking heard, and blah, blah, blah. And it was good.
Yeah.
But then, like, there's stuff that I would definitely change, replace. The mix was like pretty good. Like, but we did it in like a lot of different places. Like, we recorded that record in like 5 different stages.
Yeah.
And this, I think I learned a lot and like was very meticulous about this. And Adam, who recorded the record, fucking smashed it. But I think that the songs are just better. Like, I think the songs are better. I think that, like, if that was like a 6, like, this is a 9. Like, this, I think it was a 7. But thank you for saying that. Like, I appreciate it, because, like, I don't mean that with arrogance. Like, I think we fucking worked so hard on it. Like, we really challenged our relationships. Like I said in the publicist statement the other day. But like, Miles and I almost didn't do this record together, like down to the day before the recording started.
Oh yeah.
Because of the song, The Breakdown. That song had like 100 versions.
Oh wow.
Because he wrote a version of the song first, and I wrote the chorus over it, and I was like, this is so good. Like, this is so good. And it had like, because he went to like school for music theory. He's an amazing guitar player. He knows everything about everything when it comes to making music, as does Evan. Like, those guys are wizards, and I am a Neanderthal. So there was like all these key changes and all this stuff, and like, he would explain to me, I'd just be like, but I just want, like, don't bore us, get to the fucking chorus. Like, let's just write it like this. And we made so many different versions of it and tried to keep all the parts that made everybody happy.
Yeah.
And we fought about it so much. And then eventually, like, I was just like, just teach me the chorus on guitar. And then I just wrote an acoustic version, and I was like, here, there's 10 words to the song now. There you go. And then he was like, oh, I get it. And he did the demo, and it came back, and it was like, because he did all the pre-production for the record. And he learned to record, to do the pre-production for the record, and it sounded really good because he's a wizard. But yeah, I drove him crazy. I was a total asshole, and I felt so bad about it. But then when we made the record, it is probably the most like cathartic experience I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
I mean, you can tell, like, on top of just like the songwriting being better, and I think vocally it's much better as a vocalist. Like, the dynamic range in your vocals and in the songs throughout the record is incredible. I mean, songs like, you get a song that's like huge, like Pity Sex, which is just probably my favorite song on the record. And then you get Billy, which, like, I could feel the emotion in my heart and soul. I was just like, fuck.
Thanks, man.
Like, stop what I'm doing to listen to the song. Like, that good.
That's Bob's favorite from the record. And that was a blackout moment, man. Like, that song, that's my devotional to music during... I get really messed up talking about these songs. Like, it's hard to also because nobody's heard it yet, really. So like I just sound like a weirdo talking about it. But yeah, like you lose it, and sorry.
That's how I felt listening to the song.
Yeah, you lose that fucking shit, man, and it messes you up. And all I ever wanted was to be on Warped Tour or some shit, you know. And like, even as you get older, I'm 34. I still feel the same, more now than ever. So that was my love letter, I guess, you know. Yeah. But thanks. Appreciate it.
No, yeah. I mean, I'm 38. So, like,
dude, I'm still like getting used to talking about this shit too. And it's odd because everybody knows me away. And ever since making this record and that time period, just haven't been the same. Like, fucked me up, but in a good way. I think I'm more connected to how I want to feel and like being willing to share it. It's just challenging at times. You know. But thank you.
Is a lot of the lyric ideas built out of like, I don't know if like therapy or just like exploration in COVID that like you had so much time to sit and think? I think we talked about like COVID affected everybody before, but like.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is very like I can very much pinpoint each song. So like I'll just give you a very brief. Evan wrote the intro. He made just one day he just sent me this voice recording of him playing piano and singing that. And I was like, that's the intro of the record. And he was like, what? I was like, yeah, that's that's it. And then Basement, he wrote all the music and he had the You'll Just Get Better because it's about his friend. The Beacon was funny because, and then I just finished the lyrics, all the songs like in the bridge area, all the weird little shit I'm saying. Back when we played Chatham Fest, his band Cut the Tall Trees played a thing called Chatham Fest, and then they had all these names of their songs, which is like Macaulay Culkin, all this stuff. Okay. So I just name all the stuff of his song, but all of it's tidbits, naming his friends from home. Like it's all meant for his friends to hear it and be like, fuck, like we haven't thought about this in 20, 25 years.
Yeah.
The Beacon, Evan wrote the music, and it was with his ex-girlfriend. And it's funny because they showed it to me and all they had was I'm not the beacon for you. And I thought it was so funny at the time because they were still dating. And I was like, it's not that I am the beacon for you. It's I am not the beacon for you. You guys are sitting together writing this. And that's what you say? Interesting. Well and behold, eventually they break up. And so I finished the song like from that perspective. Pity Sex, the breakdown, and Victim Complex are all about the same person. It was a breakup I went through with an old friend, and like that was how I processed it. Out Alive is about Evan and Devin and I just being idiots, fucking doing shit that I shouldn't have been doing, and you know, Billy was the love letter. Karma is about a guy I was in a band with a long time ago. And he was one of those like lingering thoughts that for some reason I'd still bring him up. And I don't know why, because it doesn't even have social media to my knowledge. We haven't seen each other in 10 plus years. And I was like, this is me. This is me dragging this thought out in my brain, and I think I smoked too much pot. I need to get rid of this. And then so karma helped me do that. But he was the only person I ever met that didn't believe in karma.
Yeah.
And it showed because he was such a fucking piece of shit. But he was my arch nemesis, and he fueled me to want to do better. But I did some of the worst shit I've ever done with him. And that's kind of maybe why I held on to it. Commitment Issues is about a friend who was in a relationship. I wrote the song before they broke up because I was just like, I see this shit. And lo and behold, yeah, they broke up. I'll tell them eventually that it's about them. And it was just sad because it is like I love the bridge part. If there was one I could forget to hate, but it's that 3 years wait for the ring. And I was just like, she's such a good person.
Mm-hmm.
And she just got, like kind of played by a veneer, like this just like facade of, especially because we live in New York, it's like, but he's hot and he's got a great job and it's everything. And that's not what you want to, you want more than that. And then It's Nothing Personal is about my buddy who I'm actually still friends with, even though that song is fucking so mean. And I had to send it to him because we've had a lot of breakups. We've fought a lot over the years. We used to be in a band together, and my dad says that he's my muse. I wrote Spiral Gaze about him. And that I sent him the demo before I made the final version of it, just to be like, hey, dude, it's nothing personal, man. Just when you did the last thing you did, I fucking was mad at you. And I wrote the song and I love it. And, I'm not trying to be a dick, but I got to put this song out. And, so we just, I just showed him the finished version of it the other day, since the whole record's going to come out, but I had shown him the demo beforehand. And then I had my best friend from high school, Shelly, sing on that. She sings on the second verse and stuff. And I hadn't seen her in ages because of like a weird thing with our parents. So that was my attempt at like healing that. So you nailed it with the therapy aspect. Yeah. It was a lot, man. But worth it.
Yeah. You get older and you realize like, I want to be better, or I want to be this person. And to be that, I have to let go of all this extraneous shit or all these people or things that like weigh me down. And like it's true. You give less fucks because you want to be who you want to be, right? Like,
totally, man. And, it's just, I think you get to a point where you've tried to say or be yourself in a way for other people, not in like an overzealous way, but like, because then sometimes you have to like to like coexist and maintain good relationships. Like we all really have to put out to like keep them strong. And there was just some times where I had to like, for the sake of the record, be like, but that's not what it's about. This is just about me getting something out. And I'm so thankful that Evan and Miles and Mike were willing, and Adam were willing to like listen, because it did like, oh, what a weight, really did tremendous things for me, and still is like, but I don't think it'll quite hit to like I just got to hear my parents' clip on the end of the breakdown on Spotify, and that fucked me up, but so I'm stoked. I'm really thankful for the chance to like get this thing out and see what people think.
What led to the idea of having all these recordings and clips of family members and people on the album?
It's partially because my favorite band would do stuff like that.
Okay.
And I love when records are like that. And it just, when I wanted to use the title, because the May This Keep You Safe from Harm, when I first joined Fit for a King, a few family members gave me heirlooms to like take on tour to make me feel comfortable. My grandmother gave me a pocket Bible that you put over your chest in case you get shot. It's got a steel cover on it that says, May This Keep You Safe from Harm. And that's why I wanted to call the record that. And that continued to like kind of blossom into this idea of like family preservation and like time is currency. And how you spend it is very, like, it's very challenging when you look back at your receipts sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
So I want to make sure I have as much of them as I can. So just, it's selfish, so I can listen to it.
Yeah.
You know, now my mom and my dad's voice, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool. It feels good, you know?
Yeah. My dad passed away in 2019. And so like anytime there's like video or recording of him or even just pictures, you go back to because
sorry to hear that.
that's all you got. Yeah.
But that's what is odd, where some people, like somebody made a funny comment on the Lamb Goat where they're like, oh, this guy's like recording his family in secret. Yeah, he's really gathered. And it is because I tour a lot. I think about that stuff, and every day is every moment is important.
Yeah.
So they're all here.
Yeah.
You know, knock on wood. But I got my mom, dad, sister, nephew, brother-in-law, grandma, Evan's niece, my wife, my best friend, my dad's best friend, like just some cool shit, man. Like it was just fun to go through and be like, damn, like it's crazy. And Adam crushed it. Like the engineer, like he really helped me to like make those fit in between and have it sound like proper and not, because I didn't want to do it too much. I just wanted to do it in certain areas where I felt like we needed that connection in between the tracks, you know? Yeah, I think because, you know, Fit for a King, we're always thinking about things in a certain way to like achieve a certain goal, right? And like, just I wanted the goal here to be very different. Yeah. And yeah, you know, it was cool to, in the last couple of days with the breakdown coming out primarily, like finally hearing people be like, you know what? Good explanation. Band name that's actually kind of cool. I like this song. Yeah. Cause man, I'm really self-conscious about that shit with this band for some reason. And I shouldn't be. Yeah. So I'm trying to, I'll just get better. At it. But, yeah.
How'd you come up with the name?
My wife did. Yeah. So we were on the highway and, you know, the band had been like trying to flirt with ideas, and we were sitting in traffic and this minivan just like ripped off the median and like threw some grass and up on the other side to get out of traffic. And she's like, look, it's an off-road minivan. And I was like, holy shit, that's my Jimmy Eat World. And I liked it because a lot of the songs on Swan Dive, they're all like true stories. And I had been writing this song Taconic at the time, which is based off of a true story. And you can watch a documentary on Amazon Video called There's Something Wrong with Aunt Diane. Okay. And that will explain that song better. But I Went the Wrong Way on the Taconic is a true, very tragic story. This woman, no one really knows why she left this campground in the morning with a bunch of the kids and family in her car, and everyone presumed everyone was fine, and like mega accident. And I used that as a very twisted way to describe what it's like living where we grew up, because we're the little getaway from all the Hollywood stars in the city when they want to come and escape. And yeah, it's so that's how I kind of like it tied in the theme at the time more. And there was definitely, I thought about switching the band name to Swan Dive and switching the record to Off-Road Minivan at the time of the release, and had some conversations about it. And, you know, it was kind of like 50-50, and then we ended up just being like, well, or like, fuck it, we'll just stick with it. And
Yeah.
But I think I'm kind of glad now because I think people are starting to get it. Where the Off-Road Minivan, it is supposed to look funny, but it's actually a flipped fucking van with a dead family in it. So ha ha ha, you know, and that's life.
Yeah.
You think it's so, you know, whimsical and fun and just passing you by, and
not at all.
it's fucking dark and it's twisted, and you need to be aware and you need to do your best to like actually like preserve, like I said before, like your relationships and, you know, your life and your love and your body and what you have and the ability to like, I don't know, enjoy it to the fullest while you have it.
Yeah.
You know, so many people live so goddamn miserable all the time, and they could change it. They just don't want to because they don't take a shot on themselves. Drives me fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's why I'm such a little shit with my songs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, yeah.
Outside, and maybe the answer is that Fit was already on Solid State, but how'd you come to release off-road stuff with Tooth and Nail?
Yeah, we finished just the song Spiral Gaze. I showed it to him. I was like, hey, Adam, like, what do you think of this? Our rep. And he was just like, oh, like, this is really cool. Like, what do you want to do? And I was like, EP music video? And he was like, yeah, sure. Oh, and I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, cool, we'll do it, whatever. No. I was like, holy shit. And I just like called the guys. I was like, all right, like, they're gonna help us. We're gonna do this. And you know, because at that time I was really, you know, Fit was like, we're growing, you know, but I didn't have a ton of bank. You know, I just got married, or I was just got engaged. And I just didn't, you know, I didn't want it to be about anything other than creating art.
Yeah.
So we got lucky and they helped us out.
Yeah. And it's I mean, you kind of come to the label post their EMI Capital Christian phase, so like, and they're not beholden to like Christian bookstores, so it's like, they finally achieved just being like, yeah, any band can be on the label and say whatever they want now.
Yeah, and this is I asked him if there's one fuck on the record and a bitch, and I think that's it. But I had asked if that was going to be the first for Tooth and Nail, other than like Under Oath, I think maybe did it, or Norma Jean did it.
Norma Jean did it.
Norma Jean, and Silent Planet did it. Fuck the system.
And there's one on the Valley Heart record. Yeah,
I love that band. That's the other band I didn't fucking mention. We're talking fucking Tooth and Nail bands. Yeah. Jesus Christ, like that's the band. I had been a fan and friend of Kevin's like before they signed, and I adore them, man. Yeah. There were so many times I just remember like being in a back room and I'm stretching before a show listening to Nowadays. And Bob was just like, what is this? And I was like, dude, fucking Valley Heart. Like this. And it's just, they're so underappreciated for how amazing of a songwriter Kevin is. Like he's brilliant, but I think their day is coming for sure. I think they're so good.
Yeah.
But
let's talk about semi non-music stuff.
Sure.
Let's talk about your podcast. How did your podcast get started? And then you've been inactive since October. So what's the status?
It's coming back, hence this little setup here. Nice. So I got really burnt out because I worked a lot during the dark times. You know, I did Featured X. I did the podcast. I was trying, you know, we had a lot behind the scenes with the band to just like keep things moving and active. And after a while, I just got bored with how I was doing it. I wasn't really like necessarily like super stoked on, I guess just the presentation and like feeling like it wasn't moving forward the way I wanted it to. And I was touring so much that I didn't even have the time to interview. Touring or interviewing on tour sucked because you always have like fucking bandwagon generator or some shit going on. It's awful. And the featured X stuff had happened where like, we sold and they ended up being a bunch of fucking morons and they fucked up my company. And then I was just like, well, I fucking hate everybody. I'm going to take a break from life. And I did. But now I'm ready to be back. Luckily, my friend Ian, he's going to be coming out doing media with us this summer. He also has like worked for bands like I Prevail and stuff like that. He liked the show and he was like, dude, why aren't you doing it? What's going on? And I was like, I'm tired and I want it to be on video, but I'm dumb and I don't know how to do it. What do I do? And he was like, dude, it's so easy. I'll do it. And I was like, what? And he was like, yeah, like I'll help you. And I was like, for real? Like, okay, let's just do the YouTube channel together and like just do it. Cause I don't want like if the YouTube blows up and it was like making a bunch of money, I so like don't fucking care about anything like that. Like all I want to do is do what I want to do all the time. That's all that matters.
Right.
I just want to do it in a way that's fun and keeps it interesting and healthy. So luckily Ian is going to help me and the show will be back very soon. I just did my first 2 interviews and I have another one later today.
Nice.
I'm trying to get a few backlogged and then we will put it up.
Yeah.
But thanks for asking.
Yeah, I talked to someone recently and they're like, why do you talk to bands no one's ever heard of them? I'm like, because their music fucking rocks and people should listen to them. But why else?
Exactly. It's like, well, why? Yeah, like I just don't like doing interviews for shock value. I like doing interviews for things that I enjoy because people can tell if I don't like it. Yeah. Because I'm not interested. We're going to get through the interview like that and then just be done with it because your band sucks.
Right.
And that's not fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And then talk to me about Beacon Management, how that gets started and what's going on with that.
Beacon Management was just something between me and Chris and Kirby and at the time Leo from Brand, like before that they had like signed on with Rock Nation and stuff and they were still independent.
Yeah.
And we all managed bands or like our own projects and worked independently and just wanted to like have something that looked a little bit more solidified and embraced each other a bit. Kirby had just signed Hollow Front and, Shadow of Intent was really taking off and, all this kind of shit. So we were like, oh, just, make a thing, do it together. It'll be cool. So, I don't really intend on like managing a lot more bands. Like it takes a lot. And like Lex, the stuff that's going to be announced for them, everyone's going to be like, oh, sick. Like no wonder I haven't like heard anything in like 6 months because it was a lot, but it was because it's awesome. They're doing incredible things. And Gloom's coming out with us in Europe. Yeah. And I'm trying to, plan some time for them to come over here as well.
Nice. Nice. Yeah, Fit's got the tour in Europe end of the year. Anything else going on?
For Fit?
Yeah, or off-road. I mean, you said one off-road show, but
yeah, we have the Prada co-headliner in the fall. And it's us and Devil Wears Prada co-headlining with Counterparts as direct support, and then Landmarks opening, which is going to be sick.
Fucking sick.
And then this summer, we're out with Motionless in White and In This Moment and From Ashes to New. It's going to be really fun.
Pretty big.
And, dude, mega. Yeah, biggest thing we've ever done. And plus, like, I just get done, and then I just get to watch Motionless in This Moment every day. Yes.
Pretty great.
I'm so stoked. Because support tours like that are great, too, because you have so much free time. I'm just going to try to, like, get jacked again. I hurt myself like a year ago, so I've been in the gym. So that's going to be this summer's goal. And then, then Europe. And then there will be something for the beginning of the new year. Wish for Fit.
Nice.
And that's it. And then, hopefully one off-road show.
Nice.
I want to. I'm going to. I'm going to make it happen.
Furnace Fest, baby.
Dude. Oh, dude, if they offered, I would do it.
Like,
fucking Mike Zemer, give me an offer. Come on. But then their response will be, what the fuck did you say? Wait, what is the minute? I have never heard of this. But I'm hoping when, I will say, since we started releasing new singles, I have had some friends reach out and offer some really cool shows that I very much wanted to do
Yeah.
and was not able to do because of fit schedule. I just hope that when people hear this thing, like, this sounds odd, and I'm not comparing them like at all. But like people being so into the Sleep Token record and like how long it is and how like there's a lot to it. There's many layers to that onion. I was like, okay, like I think people are ready to like listen to a whole record right now. Like they'll sit, because I don't, even my friends that have asked in recent time, like, hey, can I hear the album? I'll be like, I'll send it to you, but I'm only sending you the sequence. Like, I'm not giving it to you with individual tracks. Like, you have to sit and listen to the whole thing in once. And otherwise, like, I'm really not interested in giving it to you.
Yeah.
And I know that that sounds, again, like rude in a way, but it's like, this isn't out yet. This is my thing. And if you're going to do it, like, if I would just appreciate if you would listen to it that way, because I think that when you hear all the connecting pieces, it makes more sense, where like by the time you get to the end of It's Nothing Personal, it's a fucking deep breath. Like you're like, whoa, fuck. And you know, I know a lot of people aren't going to feel that way about it. Like, and that's totally cool. I just, you know, I'm very proud of like how I feel when I listen to it. So I'm hoping other people will be able to like resonate with that and get it, you know?
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's great. I mean, it has the potential to be fucking huge. So I hope people love it.
And
who knows? Music is weird.
Music is weird, you know?
The industry is bizarre.
I'll go back. I'll take the blue pill. The band is called Swan Dive. We're mega viral. They gave me at least a playlist and they said, here you go, pal. You know, but that's the odd thing about this world, right? Is like, you don't really know when or if anyone's going to like, connect with it in the way that makes them want to share it in any form of like virality. And, you know, the perk, at least so far, has been like when people saw the breakdown video and heard the song with it, they were like, wow, this is pretty cool. Like, this feels special and different. And I think when they see the Basement video, they're going to understand the song much better and enjoy it more, because the video is fucking sick. Like, that was the one out of the two that I we put a lot of the budget into. And like, you know, the breakdown video is tailored to be like an interpretive dance, like a performance art piece. And Basement is like a mini TV show to like get the point across very well. But I have like 30 of my friends in it, and it's awesome. Like, they everyone did a really good job. They drank a lot. It was fun. So yeah, I'm stoked for everyone to see that. You'll just get better.
Thanks for listening to As the Story Grows. Our intro music was written and composed by Jeremy Hunt. The As the Story Grows theme is by Bob Nana. If you like what you hear, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and give us a rating and review. If you'd like to support the show financially, you can join us at patreon.com/asthestorygrows. Be a part of our community and join the ongoing conversation over on Discord. If you enjoy this episode, share it on social media with your friends. Much appreciated, and thanks for listening.